Today, we're talking on the topic of the latest AI updates. And I feel obligated as your coach to keep you up to date what is going on with AI. So I want to make sure you're there, tuned in, and ready for this training. This is not a lecture. However, it will be recorded. You can watch it later. I want you to participate. I want you to ask me questions because we have a lot for this hour for us to discuss, because all the updates with AI, it's just overwhelming, and I want to make it simple for you. All right, well, let's get started. DeAndre joining us. So let's start with the basics of ChatGPT. I hope you noticed that ChatGPT just recently released the latest version of ChatGPT-5, which is significant improvement compared to 4.0 that we've been using for quite some time. And with this new version, we want to discuss a few updates. First of all, I would like us to take a look at customization of your ChatGPT. I want us to make sure that your ChatGPT does not sound like all other ChatGPTs, that it's customized to you and it uses your language and your way of thinking. So let's dive in together into features that were just updated by ChatGPT. Let me share my screen and we'll get started. First of all, where we want to start with ChatGPT, making sure you have paid version, at least, because Plus version right now, it has all the features that previously was in the Pro. And we'll talk more about the agent feature and how to implement this. But let's start with customization and how to make ChatGPT really sound like you. What you want to do is go to the lower left corner and then click on Customize ChatGPT. And for the most of you who never really played around with customization, it's most likely going to be blank, or maybe some of you filled out your name. But here it's important to give ChatGPT context. As you probably know from prompting, the more context you get, the better outcome you'll get from ChatGPT. So let's start with what you do. Well, for what I do, it's going to be obviously a little different compared to yours. So you can always come back to ChatGPT and start a new conversation, discussing back and forth what you do. What is your niche? What is your unique selling proposition? You put it right here. So ChatGPT always keep that in mind while it writes content, right? But the next one, that is something I can share with you, the traits that should ChatGPT have. And this is more general instructions that I gave to ChatGPT. Always provide accurate information, never hallucinate or exaggerate, explicitly state uncertainties, and so on. I want to make sure that it talks in a normal language. So no one can really realize, is this written by AI or it's me writing this text message, email, or content on social media. So what I can do for you, I can just copy paste this traits in the chat, and you can save it in the notes and play around with it if you want to make any changes. I found that these traits gives ChatGPT more human touch. Would that be helpful? Should I do that? You want it? Yes, Sean saying yes. All right. I'll stop sharing. And then you all go to the chat and grab it. I'll give you a couple minutes to take it before we move forward, because we want to cover a lot of stuff today. All right, while you're doing this, there's also anything else that the ChatGPT would like to know about you. Here's the things that where you want to make it even more personal here, right? So if we're good with customization, let's keep going and talk about other features of ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has two wonderful ways of serving you. One's in the projects, and as you can see, I have coaching project, I have my health project, I have real estate, I have address, etc. So projects, these are like folders where you can store information and it will communicate with you based on different projects. So as you go into new project, you'll, let's say, just test. You'll have the instructions here and the files you want to upload, right? So let's say you have a project of writing content on social media, and I'll explain the difference between projects and custom GPTs in a second. Or another good option would be a project of a listing. You see, this is 825 South Ocean Drive. That's the property that I'm selling. And I want to keep everything in one folder, in one project. So what I would do, I would upload sales agreement. I would upload all the addendums. I would upload all the data so ChatGPT can analyze it and have the context. And I also want to instruct ChatGPT, what do I want from this project? Very likely, if I start a project on a listing, I want to help ChatGPT in negotiation, in crafting emails, in keeping the deadlines, in creating spreadsheets, right? So all these tasks I put in the instructions, and then I start new chats, and ChatGPT pulls the information, number one, from my profile, and it understands who I am and how I want this done. And the custom instructions give it more specifics, right? So for projects and custom GPTs, projects, they interact with each other. So let's say I have several listings and I have similar workflow with all the listings, like, or for coaching clients, I have similar flow for them. They will understand and interact between different projects. Comparing to custom GPTs, it's very narrow. It only work within the instructions that I give. Nothing left, nothing right. It doesn't understand anything beyond just the custom GPT. It's one GPT. It can be custom GPT just for you. You can share the custom GPT. Let's say if you have virtual assistant or personal assistant, and they can write on your behalf using custom GPT without interacting with any other content that you create. So what are the most advanced application for custom GPTs that I found? First, creating content, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'll give you a strategy on how to write blogs and how to create content on social media that is designed for you, and it takes less than an hour in a day for you to create. So let's start from blog writing. Are you familiar how to get to custom GPTs? Do I need to show you how to get there? All right. So if you click on GPTs, in the upper right corner, you'll see create. In the create section, you have create and configure. So I would prefer using configure because it gets more strict instructions on what I expect from ChatGPT here. And create, you pretty much have a chat with it and you really don't know where the chat gonna go, and it's pretty confusing. So I would prefer to be very direct. I would put the name. In this case, I'm gonna put right in the blog. And let me just step out of here because I already created one. So I'll show you how the back of it gonna look like. And I'll let you copy paste it so you can take it and implement, rip off and duplicate. Where's my blog writer? Right here. All right, very good. Let me show you the back of it. All right, so what I have here is I create description, blog writer for my local content. So what I use it for writing blogs on either market updates or local events. I want to make sure that it creates content on what is going on, particularly in Miami. So here I have instructions. And I don't really want to spend much time on instructions. They are pretty long instructions that they can simply email to you after the call. So you can, again, create the same blog writer and use this strategy for your market. So I finished the instructions, just literally copy paste. There's not that much for you to change. Obviously, take a look and customize it to the way that you would prefer. I definitely want to work with ChatGPT-5. I want to click all these checkboxes, including code interpreter and data analysis. And let me show you how I use it for writing blogs. Update GPT. All right. So what I want to do is I want to write blogs, and particularly if you want to be more hyper local focused real estate agent, I would create a different type of blogs on different neighborhoods, how different neighborhoods performing. Because you're all from different parts of the country. I'm in Miami. Miami is huge. From one side to another, it's a 3-hour drive with traffic. So if I create one for Miami, we have properties for $200,000 and properties for $200 million. And combine this together make no sense. So I want to be more specific to the areas that I first specialize, to the audience that I specialize. So what I would do, I would go to MLS, and I can show it to you, go into MLS and pull in the data for different neighborhoods using CVS files. Let me go and show so we can do it together. So here's my MLS. I say I want to get active, closed, and let's say I pick the Aventura, the area I live, and the data would be for the past 6 months. I create search, and then I want all the data, and then I want to export it. Now it downloads as CSV file. So I want ChatGPT to run data on this small neighborhood. It's pretty small. It's 35,000 people in this neighborhood. For Miami, it's not that much. But I want to make sure that I'm sending this data to people who actually live in there. And I'll show you the distribution in just a second. Let's come back to ChatGPT. And let me, where's my data? Okay, yes. So all I do, I copy paste the CSV file. And because I already have all the instructions written, all I'm gonna say, I need to, oh, it's not gonna, oh, it does listen to me. I need to create a blog that I can send to my database who are located in Aventura, providing them information I included in the spreadsheet that I'm uploading now. Write the blog with criteria and instructions that I provided you for within the custom instructions. And it will take a few minutes for it to analyze. Imagine it's 1,700 fields, it's 1,700 with so many different fields. And with ChatGPT-5, it will analyze in under a minute. So I hope you all have some way of blogging on your website, because as you blog, you index in your website. Indexing is like in a library card. It tells you where to go to find that book and what aisle is on. It's very similar with your website. When you consistently feed it with blog posts, Google will realize, well, this website talks about different neighborhoods, talks about different data, talks about real estate in this location. So making this blog post consistently will index and will get you free leads from Google without any paid advertising. Yes, I would say running pay-per-click ads will get you results right away, but it's going to cost you a lot. This I'm showing you only costs you $20 for ChatGPT. The rest is just manual labor, right? So it's still writing the data. Okay, I need a blog. So it continues with a few questions. I would say, I need market insights. I need market insights. Use keywords that will be associated with Aventura homes and condos for sale. Use my name, Roman Ivanov, real estate agent in Aventura. The main call to action is schedule an appointment with me. Write a long blog post, 1,000 plus characters. That's it. Just one more moment and we'll get the blog. So that blog, first it goes to your website. Here it starts writing. It goes to your website. However, until someone comes to your website and reads the blog, it's not doing any good for you except for indexing your ranking on Google. So we want to expand this. And as you post the blog, we want to have the teaser also posted on your Google My Page, because Google My Page is in direct correlation what Google knows about you and your website. So I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to copy paste the whole blog into your Google My Page. But what you want to do is ask ChatGPT to write a teaser that you can post on Google My Page, and it squeezes that 1,000+ characters post into something nice and short and sweet. Pretty much, you want to give them instruction. You want to write the blog as a spoiler for this blog to my Google My Page using the first two sentences, the hook, then give them the spoiler and have call to action, which is click on the link and come to your website. Make sense? You all following me? Good. All right. So that is the first step. Second, put the same strategy into your email marketing, right? I've been consistently teaching you, well, we need to have some way of value in these emails. No one cares about just listed, just sold. And I've been teaching you how to create ChatGPT that create conversational emails. And that's something that we can do with another ChatGPTs. But we can also start conversations and provide valuable information to our database using this shares of your blog post, where you can squeeze it with ChatGPT into something plays within these parameters, having them the problem, the solution, and call to action, which is get more information on the website. And to make your blog post even better and more interactive, we can start creating pictures right here on ChatGPT that you can paste into your blog post. So it's not just the text, it's mixed with some pictures. So all we need to do is start creating pictures. All right, well, I might want to put the dimensions one. 24 by 720, that's just dimensions. So I keep the pictures horizontal because we posted them on the website, and I keep them consistent. So I guess ChatGPT a little tired. So we keep going with this AI topic. I want to pause for a second, check in back with you on what we just discussed. Do you have any questions? I see a couple messages here. Do you have basic ChatGPT? Isabel, I have Plus version that costs $20. I would encourage everyone to get on Plus. It's best $20 spent ever. Okay, it started generating pictures. Share again. So here's a picture again. I can modify it to the way I want it, but these are the pictures that I would put in the website. As you can see, adding a couple more pictures, like 5 pictures, this text, it's not taking more than 15 minutes. I know maybe when you do it the first time, it might be a little more time consuming, but when you get used to it, it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. So about indexing and frequency of posts, I would say the minimum frequency would be once a week. Once a week is the minimum. If you can do 3 times, that would be excellent. You're going to see significant improvement in your indexing and also in engagement with your audience. Because when you make this post and share the post in the emails, you have higher and higher open and response rate and click-through rate. And the more they get used to what you write in it, and the fact that it's not the generic stuff, it's something local that everyone wants to learn about, the higher the answer open and click-through rate, and more people are gonna actually come to your website and read your blog posts. Cool? All right, well, let's keep going. Do you have any other questions to confirm? Are we going to send us blog post prompt? Of course I will. Yes, I will send everyone this prompt as we finish. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions and just ask me verbally before we move forward, because we kind of on the blog posts. We good? All right, I assume we good. So another very cool thing that was just released, agent and ability of ChatGPT to communicate on your behalf. So it's no longer just a chat where you input the prompt and get information. Now ChatGPT can act on your behalf. And where we want to go to customize it or optimize it for that purpose, first, we want to go into general, into down below, right? And then we go to settings, and then we click connectors. And check this out. Now ChatGPT can connect with your Gmail, can connect with your Google Calendar, with your Drive, but also can connect with Canva. And that list is going to continue building and building here. So literally, we can set up the Google Calendar with ChatGPT. ChatGPT analyze the current calendar and tell you, are you working on money-making activities? How you can upload your business plan and see how your business plan aligned with your Google Calendar and see the area that's missing. Isn't it cool? Now you can connect it with your Gmail, and you can track the thread with agent if you represent a buyer, and see how you can improve your negotiations. And ChatGPT will understand all the context without you copy pasting the whole thread. Google Drive. Also, if you're working on the project there, you can use Google Drive for that purpose. But as we grow agents, one beautiful that has another tool that's called Claude AI that is connecting with Zapier and have the automations on the next level. So all these connections they are right inside of the AI. However, Claude, which I will be discussing with you here, it has the integration with Zapier, and Zapier has thousands and thousands of connections already built in here. So with Claude, I think we've discussed it on a previous group call. It has the ability to write the. So if you let's say create a landing page, and on this landing page explain your listing performance, all you need to do is come down here and create an artifact. And after you create an artifact, let me see if I have some of them stored here. Projects. Okay. Create project. Here's my artifact. All right. They right here. So I believe I showed you the one I was creating for my the performance tracker. Fixing with Claude. All right. Well, it really looks like an interactive website. Hopefully we'll get it takes a moment. Let's finish. You'll have that visual on how the app looks like. So while it writes, why don't you turn your mic and interact with me? So are you guys learning something new? Is this ChatGPT? Have you played with it with agent? You? No?
I have not.
No?
To this extent, no.
Well, great. Then I'm bringing something new to the conversation. So while it prompt, the application of this Claude could be this. Imagine you want to show your seller what you've been doing marketing-wise. So very similar to how I showed you the metrics, MLS data turned into the blog post. We can do the same thing with your data from your marketing activities. Let's say you have a listing and you track your marketing parameters like views and click-throughs and leads. All this can be put into an artifact. Okay, it's giving another issue, so hopefully we'll get this fixed, and I'll show you a sample, and that will get them understanding of what are you actually doing. Right now, market is softening, and explaining the seller of what is going on in the market, what are we doing to sell the property in an easy to understand way is creating that make it or break it type of situation. If you're not supplying them with that information, the listing likely going to expire and they're going to try to find another agent. However, if you provide them consistently updates on what is going on, they're going to stick with you because they understand that you put in all that efforts into selling the listing. What else can we do with this artifact while it's still writing the prompt? we can artifact and HTML email on the market. Like I just showed you to create a blog post. We can do the very similar thing. Oh, here we go. Finally. So I'll show you the daily tracker that I've been building here. So instead of calls and text messages, you're going to say, well, this is how many views on, this is how many views on Instagram. This is how many of showings. This is how many feedback we're, and then they can drop it down and what's the they are getting from the, all right? Now, moving forward, I want to show you a few cool tools that you can use for content creation. I think ChatGPT and Claude and all this AI can streamline the production of the content like 10 times. So what are tools that we have for content creation? The one I really like playing lately is Adobe Firefly. So Adobe Firefly can create content just from the prompt. And I wouldn't necessarily use it for the purpose of creating content and not being on camera at all. But you know how much interactive your video become when you use B-rolls, when you're showing your client the process. So just for fun, I made this video on a fat cat playing with a fish. And I just gave the ChatGPT idea of what I wanted that video to look like and asked ChatGPT to write prompt for Firefly. And now I have the video. I can make it longer, I can make it shorter, I can make it anything I want. I can make it with voice, or I can use these videos for B-rolls. However, for content creation, I think it's significant improvement from stock videos. And since we're talking about creating content AI, another tool I want to show you, and I showcased in a previous coaching call, but I'm not sure if you all saw it. It's the same topic, which is Runway. Runway is the tool that also can create videos from the prompt. But compared to Firefly, it can create videos from pictures. So useful application of this AI would be getting listing videos from other agents and putting their listings, their pictures as a video on your social media, with you having the description and narrating the video. You can even put your video, just cutting yourself out, cutting the band that will be given the tour of a buyer of a listing that never you knew. So imagine how much time you can save if you pull this strategy into application. Let me show you one of the samples. This is a still picture, and now it turns into the camera sliding above the pool. There is another picture that showcases the kitchen or gym or backyard. So all these pictures can be done in 5 minutes or less. I literally just upload a series of pictures and download these videos. I stitch them together, I can do the voiceover, and I see a lot of agents really winning it with faceless listing videos. Well, my personal opinion, I would to be on the video so people can connect and recognize my brand, which is my face and my name. But I'll decide how you can use and implement this tool. However, there is nothing stopping you from spending 5 to 10 minutes stitching a few pictures together, doing a voiceover, and making the content without investing much time. Cool? Any questions on that?
Great. I have a question. Is there a way for you to please give us the names of each website and it is each? Because those are tools, but I know each has like its specific a reason, or is it better doing the videos is better with this one, and then this other thing website.
So sounds like you can me to send a recap to everyone after the call.
Yeah, because it was like different names. I had to remember which one I have to use for which.
Sounds good. Do you want that email with recap of the call? I can do that.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Well, certainly we'll get into the point where I'll this down and I'll send you the prompt. So that's on the topic of AI video creation. So coming from that, another tool that I want to show you that can also create videos on your behalf without you investing a ton of time is the HeyGen. Who's familiar with HeyGen? Anybody? Camille's familiar, no one else. Well, what HeyGen does, it clones you. As you know, video is a whole ton of pictures. So what it replicates all your and turns into avatar. So now you have that you can put into work for educational videos. Right now, they turn to be so real. It's really hard to determine if it's a real person or if it's an avatar. If you give me two, I'm very likely going to miss, especially when I'm talking about educational videos. My personally, I wouldn't necessarily use it for social media just because I can still, this business, I can still feel the energy. Because when you actually perform in front of the camera, the energy still delivers through the lens. When you create it with AI, the energy is not there. And typically this video is not performing as well. However, if I would have two choices, creating content with AI with HeyGen or not creating content at all, I would go with HeyGen. All these tools, they come with cost. So I don't want you to jump in and say, oh, my coach advised me on all these tools. I just want you to be aware of what's available. And I want you to be aware of your budget. Because what I don't want to happen that you jump on these shiny objects, start spending extra money and not taking advantage of all these tools in full. So the most common application of this avatar creating AI, number one, creating educational videos. Imagine what if you would create series of videos and you post them on your Google Drive, not even YouTube, something private, but explaining the process of selling, explain the process of buying at the time when they go through it. So you can create videos like, hey, congratulations, we just got your property under contract. This is what to expect. Within the next 10 days, we're going to have inspection. And after inspection, buyers typically send us a reply to inspection with copy of the inspection and so on. And even state that it's not me, it's Joanne's avatar. Hi, this is Joanne's avatar. Today, I wanted to give you an update of what is going on with your transaction. We just got the property under contract, and within the next days, expect a call from me setting up appointment for an inspection. Way for you to implement this, providing market updates. And providing market update can be time again. If you market update and you want to state that it's avatar build video, I think it gives that layer of generosity that you're not lying, you're not making this up. But keep in mind, these avatars, they're real, and most of your clients never even can recognize that it's AI-generated avatar. Moving forward, a few other tools I wanted to show you today. A couple new tools I want to show you today, maybe not so new for some of you. This one is called Notebook LM, and this one is free. I would encourage you to come play around with Notebook LM. As long as you have Google account, you will have access for it. So how you can implement this tool? First thing, that market update that we discussed at the very beginning can be also transferred into a podcast. And certainly you can record podcast yourself. You can clone your voice and create podcast your own voice. But it all either comes with time or money that you will spend on cloning your voice. Here you can create podcasts for free. So what I've done, I created this sample for you on Miami podcast. At this point, we have even one step further in the technology. We can create audio podcast and a video version of that podcast. Well, at this point, it's on the early stage of development, and video is pretty much just a series of slides showing what you're talking about, but it's still pretty cool. Imagine the application of creating this podcast, video podcast on your listing presentation. Imagine complicating instructions into easy to understand podcast with visuals. So I instructed AI to mention me in the podcast as the main source of information, as the main character. And check this out, how it looks like.
Have you ever felt like trying to understand a fast-moving real estate market is like trying to catch?
Oh, absolutely. 1 minute it's red hot, the next, who knows?
Especially somewhere like Miami, right? So vibrant, but so dynamic.
Exactly. It really leaves you wondering, okay, what's actually going on underneath all the headline?
Totally. And well, that's why we're diving in today. Our mission really is to cut through.
And this is what I would also add to my website, right? For those who are more audible people who interact with a podcast at the higher level compared to reading, why wouldn't we give them that option? It also can be distributed through your email. If someone wants to read the blog on your website, give them that option. But on the flip side, you can download this monthly market update, upload it to Spotify, and if they prefer podcast, it's all done in just a few minutes for free. Cool?
Roman, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So my question is, we talked earlier about building the blog within ChatGPT-5. So would you take that same blog then and just copy it into Notebook LM and then have it write as a podcast, or do you start with new prompts in Notebook LM to build a podcast?
Well, I would prefer to use ChatGPT to write prompt for Notebook LM, because if I write data, it will talk about data in the location, but it's not going to talk about me. So what I want to do is be the main character in that podcast. And ChatGPT does pretty good job writing the prompt for this purpose, data that they provided to ChatGPT originally.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Well, I think these are all the tools that I wanted to show you today. And I really didn't want to make you feel overwhelmed. And this is not to dive into each of them. I want to give you an overview on what is available for you. What are the things that you might want to explore or implement, but definitely not them all, right? I not even have subscriptions with all these tools. Some of them, yes, actively use and a big fan of it. Some of them that I just given you, I've tried them. I know they're good, like HeyGen. I paid for it, and they don't have that practical application in coaching there. I would write content myself. But again, if you have a choice of not creating content or use some of these AI tools for content creation, for blog creation and distribution, for podcast, this is what's available.